Hello and welcome back once again to another episode of Stefan's Kitchen. This time I'm going to bring you guys a dessert because I've been asked to do more desserts, and I believe someone actually said they wanted me to do candy. I haven't really tried to make candy before, but who knows, maybe I'll do that in the future. But let's get to a special kind of dessert, and this week I bring you the Caramilk Cheesecake. That's right. I've seen a lot of these online where people put caramel on the outside of them. I want to turn the entire cheesecake into a big caramel myself. So that's basically the plan. So I guess let's get right to it. So of course, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to peel our packs of cream cheese. I'm going to use 4 for our standard size cheesecake. And as you can see over here to the left in my springform pan, I've already got a base already made. Basically, I made a brownie. I just went and got a brownie mix, made a quick little brownie mix in the bottom of the springform pan. That's going to serve as my crust. Could have done it with graham wafer or whatever, but honestly, there's no graham wafers in Caramilk bars, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use something that's chocolatey, something that's delicious, and I've decided to use brownie. And I find with a lot of the more chocolatey, sweeter flavored cheesecakes that I tend to make, I usually go with the brownie bottom, and people tend to like that. It's more of a different type of bottom. Not only that, but it's much more firm and harder to cut into sometimes, which is probably the worst thing about it. But the best thing is that it stands up to the cheesecake pretty well. It doesn't crumble when you eat it. So as you can see, we have all of our cheese, our cream cheese, in our bowl. And we're going to just get our blender, and we are going to soften up this cheese. And then, yes, I've left it out for a couple of hours so it can soften up, because you don't want to try and do this while it's still at fridge temperature. So, once you got that all nice and softened, well, as you can see, we have our nice brownie bottom right there. And I didn't overcook it or anything. If anything, I undercooked it a little bit, just so that once it starts cooking with the cheesecake inside of it, or on top of it, that it'll, have that little bit of extra cooking time to firm up and not get, I guess, softened by the cream cheese, but not over hard because it's overcooked. So, moving on, we're going to add our additives, which is for every pack of cream cheese, you use a 1/4 cup of sugar. Some people might use less, some people might use more. I've always found a 1/4 cup of sugar to every pack of cream cheese is enough. I'm currently using 1 full cup to my 4 packs of cream cheese. And we just blend it until it's nice and smooth. And now we're going to add our eggs. And again, 1 egg for every pack of cream cheese. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to do a quick blend. Don't overblend it because you don't want to lose the integrity of your eggs. But just enough so that they get a quick blend into the cream cheese. Do this with all 4 of your eggs. So that way, like I said, you're not over mixing them, and they actually get to allow your cheesecake to rise. That's the whole point of them. So as you can see here, I'm still just slowly blending everything together, just doing it kind of well, I shouldn't say slowly, I'm doing it quickly because I don't want to overblend it too much. So that's why I'm blending and moving around the blender at the same time to give it like an extra mix. Now, to make it more like a Caramilk, let's take some, I couldn't find any quote-unquote caramel, and yes, I could make it homemade, but I just got a bottle, I can't even say it. I got a bottle of butterscotch. And I'm going to use that in order to flavor our cream cheese. So it's going to have like a nice butterscotch caramel kind of flavor to it. But I like the extra butter, and caramel is made of butter, so So next, once we have it all mixed together and smooth, we're going to pour it right in on top of our brownie bottom. And as you can see, I'm being very anal about getting every last little bit in there. I don't know why. Gave it a quick little shake so that we got the air bubbles out and so that it's a little nicer and smoother on the top. Then we're going to put it in the oven. And there we go, at 350. And we are going to put it in for approximately an hour and 10 minutes is what I usually go for. I'm going for, again, a more firmer cheesecake. In case anyone's going to question me on why you get put it in so long? Well, it's because I want it to be a little bit more firm than usual. I don't want it to be a soft cheesecake, because it still has to, there's still a couple more things we have to do with it to make it more like a caramel. A caramel bar. Thank you, Cadbury. You make delicious chocolate. Now, I slid a knife around the outside of my cheesecake before taking it out the springform pan. You might want to do this so you don't rip apart your cheesecake. Just a heads up. I've done it before and forgot all about it, and I've ripped apart a cheesecake doing that. As you can see, the way that I baked it has made like a nice little lip, like a nice little bowl in the middle. So we're going to take advantage of that, and we're going to put more of the butterscotch right on top of this sucker. Oh yes, and don't worry, I've let it cool. This cheesecake has been cooled for a couple of hours. It's nice room temperature now, it's not warm. But that's not nowhere near enough. That does not make a caramel bar. So I've got a full bottle of butterscotch besides. I just took the other, I guess 1/3 of a bottle that we had left over from the cheesecake mix. And basically this is going to go right on top of our cheesecake, because when we cut it, we want this to ooze out all like gooey and delicious. And that's what I'm going to do. So I'm slowly just moving the caramel around so that it's even. And now I've since put the cheesecake in the freezer so that it was frozen enough so that it could take this warmed, I should say hot milk chocolate. So this is, yes, milk chocolate, ladies and gentlemen. I just melted it down and made it into a sort of like a topping, or more or less. Or what we're going to do is we're putting it right on top so that it has a nice smooth texture, obviously, but then it also keeps the caramel in, so it's not escaping through the sides, it's not escaping from the top. It's going to stay there until we cut it. And so that's what I'm doing here. So the cheesecake is partially frozen. It's, again, very firm right now, to the point of where the caramel or butterscotch that we had on top is firm. And again, this is basically what I did here. Ta-da! You're going to ask me, what is that stuff in your fridge? Don't worry about it. But anyways, yeah. Once you put the chocolate on top, you can return it back to the freezer, same as I did back there. And it should come out looking more or less like this. So put it in the fridge, let it thaw out for a couple of hours, and then she is ready. She is ready to be cut. So let's take a look at how good our caramel cheesecake turned out. Still partially frozen. Doesn't want to give me back my knife. So in case you're having the same issue as me right now, you can warm up your knife in the sink using hot water, and it should run through the cheesecake pretty well. I'm trying not to rip apart the cheesecake. Also trying not to cut and rip apart my thumb. And so here we go, going for our second cut of the cheesecake. Oh god, see the chocolate on the top? Chocolate on the top is actually the biggest issue here, because where it's trying to be half melty, and I don't want it to be like that right now. I guess I could have used pear wax to make it a little bit better, but here we go. After I got a couple pieces out, you can see the caramel has started to slowly ooze out from the top, and boy oh boy is that stuff good. So this is our caramel cheesecake. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. It's a very easy way to make a yummy dessert, and yeah, I think this is a little bit more original than putting chocolate on the outside and sticking a bunch of caramels to the outside as a border or whatever. So as always, thank you all for watching. Again, if you enjoyed the recipe, or if you even tried the recipe yourself, please leave some comments down below. Let me know how it turned out for you. And hopefully we'll see you all soon once again for more dessert recipes and meal recipes on Stefan's Kitchen. See you later.